Welcome back to another episode on Between the Notes podcast, season 2. This episode, we're coming from the road. We're from Denver, Colorado. And as you can see, I have a special guest with us today, Ben Reisinger, tenor extraordinaire, coming straight out of the second year of the Lindemann Program at the Metropolitan Opera. And we are so thrilled that he's joining us with Opera Colorado's production of La Traviata, singing the role of Alfredo, my boy, literally, mio figlio. Thanks for being with us, man.
Welcome, brother.
Big fans, y'all.
Thanks, man.
How's everything going there in Bloomington?
It's beautiful. We're just coming off a fall break, and weather's cooling off. The sun is out. And it's great. Looking forward to teaching this week, and then heading over to New York City, do a little teaching there. So yeah,
Nice.
It's been fun.
Sweet.
The break we came just at the right time. So
Yeah, nice.
yeah.
Well,
How
Ben,
about you
talk to
guys?
us a little bit about how you got into singing and what was the inspiration there and sort of your journey along the way.
Yeah, I started out, I was a double bass player. I played jazz bass.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
And I grew up next to the head of jazz at Eastman in Rochester, New York. And I would
Oh, cool.
take bass lessons from him, and really cool guy, Jeff Campbell over there. But
Right on.
then I started getting into it. Like, I just would listen to like John Coltrane and some of these like really, instrumental jazz people. I loved it.
Sure.
And just kind of caught the Rat Pack bug, listening to D. Martin, Frank Sinatra. I
Oh,
basically,
yeah.
when I was a weird kid. I want to be like Frank Sinatra when I was 16.
Nice.
so I started
the
singing
Michael
jazz.
Bublé route, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
When he studied with an opera singer, Frank did back in Jersey.
Oh,
Did
that's
he
right.
Sure
really?
did. Yeah, he did. Absolutely.
Nice. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I just, I caught the jazz bug, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to go into school for.
Mhm.
And I was still playing bass a lot, and I auditioned. I auditioned on bass. I was like, do I do business? Do I do science? I love science and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I auditioned on bass, and I was like, I think I can do the voice thing.
Okay.
I want to try. Maybe I shouldn't do the jazz route. I'm going to start training. This was like 3 months before the auditions. I was like, let me try to find a teacher and see if I can try to sing some opera. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
Now, was that encouraged from were you in choir in high school?
I was in choir. Yeah.
Okay, so was your choir director influencing you to pursue singing, or was that just something on your own?
She loved what I was doing with the jazz. And she's a great person. She was she went to Eastman too, and she was a jazz pianist and
Oh, wow.
taught choir too, which was incredible. So she put on a whole jazz choir that was it was amazing.
Wow.
We had
Wow.
like 6 of the 18 of us went to Allstate every year they had a jazz choir in New York State
Oh, cool.
for Allstate, which was really cool.
Yeah.
So she was kind of hesitant about me getting into opera because we had an opera guy in our my high school. I don't know if you ever heard the name Matt Swenson.
Yeah.
Matthew Swenson, yeah.
Yeah. We went to the same high school. He was 3 years older than me.
Okay.
Okay.
So that was kind of the bar set for like high school. I didn't know anything about opera, but I was like, let me give it a try. So
Yeah.
I
Todd
auditioned.
Strange was talking about Matty was
Yeah,
calling
that's
him.
right.
Yeah.
I was like, someone
Yeah.
recently brought him up. That's
Really?
right.
Todd
That's
Strange.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. He was So he's 3 years older. His dad would come to the shows. His dad's I think he's still at Eastman. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
But he was always really great to me.
Cool.
But so I auditioned. I actually got more money in scholarships for bass.
Oh, wow.
So you auditioned for double bass and for voice?
Yeah, yeah. I got more scholarship offers for double bass, which is funny. And then I re-auditioned for more scholarships later on.
Wait,
Mhm.
where were you auditioning?
So I did like Crane School Music.
Oh, a bunch of different auditions.
Like different auditions.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
But overall, more money for bass.
Oh, wow.
Funny, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So then I ended up going to Nassau College because they gave me a really good, good ride. And I really liked the teacher there that I was working with.
Cool.
And he really got me out of my, jazz vibe. He was like, hey man, would love for like a year you didn't sing jazz, just so we can kind of figure out your opera kind of
Sure.
style.
Right, right.
So that was tough for me. So I was like, oh man, I want to sing jazz because, I'd sing with my buddy at like a bar, whatever.
Yeah.
We do bar gigs every week, and it was a nice few $100 a week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And he was asking me like, maybe can you take a break from that?
It's
I was like, dude, I'm 18, like $300 a week's a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
right.
So I
Absolutely.
worked with him for 4 years as a baritone, and I went in and I really didn't have any sort of top at all. I mean, I probably topped out at a B natural,
Uh-huh.
and he really helped me foundation wise, I think, give me a good foundation.
Sure.
Yeah.
Clearly.
I went to Martino Royal program like right after that. After my junior year, I got into the Martino Royal Prelude
Mhm.
performance. I did like the Doctor and Siki,
Okay.
fun stuff like that. And like I
Sure.
got to be around like real opera singers for the first time in my life.
Right. Yeah, sure.
And I met the Ruckers, Mark Rucker and Sadie Rucker.
Love them.
And they're like, hey man, we're just starting to teach over at Michigan State. And I'm like 21, whatever.
Yeah.
They're like, we can give you like a teaching assistant position and pay you and whatever. You
Yeah,
get your master's.
That's awesome.
Like, sweet man, I'm in. So I moved there. Met my wife like the first week I was there.
Nice.
I was like, this place is pretty cool. I'm 22 and I got a little cash.
Yeah.
No expenses.
Sure.
That was probably the richest I ever felt in my life.
Just wait, buddy. Just wait. Just wait.
Oh yeah.
And it's just no cares in the world, paid off car, whatever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I worked with Mark and Sadie for 3 years.
Uh-huh.
COVID kind of hit. It kind of
Right.
hit. It definitely hit.
It definitely hit.
And then
Yeah.
I was doing okay. I had some church stuff, some local stuff. I was in Cancun with my wife, and I might have maxed my credit card out, had a low,
Right.
and
Like you do.
I'm sitting in Cancun drinking a margarita, and I start getting emails like, these gigs are canceled.
Oh man.
We got to go back. We got to go back to the States. They're shutting down.
Right.
So I ended up selling cars right after that because I needed a job.
Mm.
I sold cars for 3 years. And I did the Met competition.
Right.
I think it was the second year I was selling cars. I did the Met comp. Detroit Opera had a baritone drop out of their program, and they needed a spot filled, so they called me. And I
Okay.
was like, sure, yeah, I'll do it. I'll get back into it. I basically thought I was quitting singing for a while.
Sure. I think we all thought about that during COVID.
I think everybody was like, "What's going to happen?"
Law school? Real estate? Let me go back and get my master's in pedagogy. Here we are.
Yeah, seriously. So then I went to Detroit. I met a really good teacher there. And, I hadn't really been taking too many lessons like consistently during those 3 years.
Sure.
And, your voice changes when you're going through your 20s a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was really hard to deal with, especially because there wasn't a lot going on.
Right.
Yeah.
During those COVID years.
Yeah, it's just not a lot going on. I'm like, what am I really working for here?
Right.
If this ever opens up, right?
Sure.
So I kept the car deal in the back pocket. So in the summers and in my breaks, I would sell some cars. And I had a really good relationship with my manager at the dealership, and he would let me come in and out, and we're still good friends.
Sweet.
And I met this really good teacher, and dude, the first lesson we had, he vocalized me up to a C sharp.
Oh, wow.
And he's like,
was that surprising to you?
I was like, oh, no one's really ever taken me up there before. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, has anyone ever told you anything about yourself? And he's like,
the T
I was
word.
like, well, some people think I'm a tenor, and I love him for this because he's not intrusive at all, whatever.
Yeah.
But he's like, so what do you want to be? And I'm like, well, I'm a baritone. And I was like, I'm a baritone. I was very adamant.
It's a mindset.
Yeah, I was like, this is what I am. I've been studying for this. This is what I do.
Right.
He was like, okay, all right, let's do it. So a year goes by, and he's great. He's expanding my range. When my low came in, when we figured out that I was moving a lot I was doing a lot with my tongue to make the note.
Welcome to the world, right?
You know what I mean? I was doing a lot of it, and
yeah.
I hadn't had consistent lessons, so I can't blame a teacher for not seeing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So as soon as I relaxed my jaw and my tongue, the low started coming in, and then the high really started coming in.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I got into the finals for Ryan Center and didn't get put through as a baritone.
And this was when you were still a
This is when I was
baritone
at
in the
Detroit.
Detroit. Oh,
Yes, this is when I was at Detroit.
Right.
And so I got to the finals and I'm listening to these tenors because I mean, I'm in Michigan. There's not too many, no offense to people in Michigan, there's not too many good tenors
Right.
in general, but in Michigan, definitely not. And then I'm like, these guys are having trouble with A natural, B flat.
Right.
And they're getting all these opportunities. And I'm like grinding to try to get
Sure.
opportunities, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And I'm listening to some of the, you know, the high level tenors my age, right?
Sure.
And there was one day I was covering Sharpless in Detroit,
Okay.
and a really good friend of mine was singing Pinkerton, and I was like, dude, I feel like I could sing that. I feel like I could sing that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I started playing around with Addio,
Right.
Fiori, that one, whatever.
Right. Sure.
And then I got just like stuck into the Puccini land. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, so I brought my teacher. I was like, hey, this is gonna be weird. I want to try Che Gelida Marina today.
Oh, you started with a good old easy
Let's start
one.
with that one. Yeah.
okay.
Most people
And
do
I had to
Amor ti
see-
Vieta first, you know.
Yeah. I was weird, man. I don't
That's
know.
fine. I love the
Throw
ambition.
me in the fire.
Yeah.
Throw me in the fire.
Yeah.
So I did that, and he literally was like, "Oh boy, what are we gonna do here?" Because I had contracts to fulfill. You know, I had
Right.
things I had to. I made promises to as a
Right.
baritone.
Sure.
Right.
You know, it's very difficult when you're under contract.
Yeah, I know
You
all
know?
about it. Yeah.
Changing voice categories.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think I'm doing any of this anymore. Thanks for, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And they were very supportive. They were very supportive
That's
about
awesome.
that.
That was when Christine Gerke was there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
She was very supportive of that. She just wanted to make sure that I knew what I was getting into.
Sure.
Sure. I mean,
Of
she
course.
knows all about voice changes and making the
sure.
Yeah,
switch
absolutely.
and doing
she's
it.
great. She
That's
came to my
awesome.
wedding, and you know,
Aw,
we're still in touch.
sweetheart.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
She is. And so I was like, dude, there's this like Italian tenor thing that people, you know, keep saying is like really hard. I think I can do it.
Right.
The Rosencavalier.
The Rosencavalier, yeah.
Right.
So my teacher was like, all right, if you really want to start with that, like I really don't, we'll see what happens. Just have fun.
Right.
With whatever
Sure.
Just don't hurt yourself.
Right.
Just don't hurt yourself.
Right.
And he's like, you're smart enough to figure it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I made like a bootleg recording with my buddy of doing the Italian tenor. And it was just on my iPhone with the pianist and my buddy in the room. He's a nerd with voice. I was like, dude, tell me what you think of this. And I did it, recorded it, and he was like, dude, you got to do that.
Right on.
You got to do that. So I sent that recording to like 4 managers that I had been talking to at the time. And within a few hours, I had like a few offers to like try to like get me into a young arts program.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Like higher level ones, you know.
Sure.
And a few manager offers.
Awesome.
To represent you as a tenor.
Yeah, as a tenor.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
With your first aria.
I'm just like singing one aria.
Right.
And I get a call from this German company. I'm not going to name any names, but I get a call from a German company, and he's like, "Hey, Reisinger." I'm like, "Oh, no. I don't speak German. I'm sorry."
Right.
He's like, "Yeah, I haven't heard you. You know, I haven't heard of you before." And I'm like, "Well, it's because I'm a baritone." And he's like, "I'm sorry, what?"
That's so
Confusing.
funny.
Well, yeah, it was very interesting. And you know, I had sent it to now my current manager, and he was like, dude, he'd been really great to me, and like through the whole time I was a baritone too. Like he was semi-interested in me as a baritone. He said he would kind of help me through the process, you know, which was like it's from the beginning, you know, which I really love. You know?
Sure.
Yeah. And he's like, hey man, so you've auditioned for Lindemann twice as a baritone, and you obviously didn't go through. And I was like, he's like, they want to hear you as a tenor.
Okay.
And I was like, dude, I don't even think I can come up with 4 arias before like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sure.
So I think I brought 3 or 4. And I was like, this is all I have. I don't have anything. I was very straightforward with them. Like, this is very new. And they took a gamble on me, dude. They
Yeah,
took a
man.
gamble on me. They really did, and I am forever grateful for that.
Well, it looks like it's paying off for
I hope
everybody,
so.
which
I
is
hope so.
great. Yeah.
I hope so.
No, of
Yeah,
course.
no,
They're
absolutely.
incredible, and yeah, that's kind of my journey over the last 7 years, I guess.
Yeah, I love how you just went straight for the tongue thing. And I think for a lot of tenors and a lot of high voices in general, I've experienced that is a huge stumbling block. I mean, Luisa Tetrazzini in her treatise on singing said that, this is the tongue is the base of the tongue is a stumbling block upon which many young singers fall. And for me, Steve Smith was the first one who just like hung on to my jaw and just was like, "Do you feel that?" I was like, "Kind of." He's like, "Well, it's getting tight. So if you feel that getting tight, you're helping." And I think I teach I talk to my students now. It's like that is a stepping stool. So you're using your tongue to step on a little ladder to get up to that note, and it's going to make you tired. It's going to sound squeezed. And, depending on how much you do it, you might start to get sick. You're going to start to get tired, all this kind of stuff. I mean, tenors are notorious for canceling. I think so much of it has to do with the tessitura being so much higher and sitting so much higher than where we are speaking for the most part. Even for, singers that have relatively high speaking voices, it's still much higher. We spend a
Right.
lot of time in that upper register. That is really just so I'm thrilled to hear that. I think it's so great. I mean, I learned a lot about the anatomy of all this kind of stuff that I sort of was aware of before. For my COVID story, I sang one of the last performances at the Met before they shut down with Alina Garancha. We were doing Damnation of Faust there, and we did it in concert version. It was super fun. And then like literally Peter Gelb had sent out an email the next morning before I got on the plane that the house was going to be closed for 2 weeks. And so like that was super duper crazy. But then I went back home and I was just trying to be like, man, what is going to happen? How long is this going to be? I remember when I picked my kids up from school, it was like, all right, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Okay, we'll see you in 2 months. Okay, we'll see you after the summer. And I was like, this is crazy. This is just so crazy. And so, yeah, getting back to like how we were all dealing with and trying to figure it out.
But on the flip side of it, what a better time to go through a transition like that from switching from baritone to tenor when you get a little bit of elbow room, you get a little time to focus on technique and working up some new repertoire. And so then as a tenor, got into the Lindemann program. So talk a little bit about what that experience was like going into a young artist training program like that.
It's very intense, and that's what makes you a better artist, I think, is I learned very well being thrown into the fire. And I mean, they took a huge gamble. I mean, I got in, could barely get through the 3-4 arias that I brought. And, they're like, okay, so we start in September. We're going to pay for you to keep working with your teacher over the summer before you come back. Because I had auditioned. I got married end of May, got the call so I like made the transition in March.
Okay.
I made the decision like in March, April-ish.
Right.
I'm going to be a tenor now.
Of last year.
Wow.
This is what's going to happen. I'm going to be a tenor. I'm working on it, make the bootleg. Then by like May, they're like, we need you to come down for an audition again. And I'm like, I've done this twice already, and it's tough when you go back, again and again. I'm like they're like, we really like what you're doing. So,
and they had not heard you live as a tenor.
Hadn't heard me live as a tenor, and they knew where I was at. So, but yeah, it was very wild. So they were so nice. They helped me with,
lessons
over the summer for like 3 months. So that by September I had like an audition package.
Yeah, that's great.
And it was bare bones audition package. I didn't know what I was singing.
Yeah.
I was singing, I had Pinkerton on there. I don't sing Pinkerton anymore.
Okay.
Like I do like the earlier Verdi stuff, so like, it was different for me because a lot of people that go into programs like that have a set idea of what they want to pursue as roles.
Yeah, it's more finishing than what you're doing, which is like rebuilding. I mean, you kind of like,
just going to say, usually for the singers that go through the Lindemann program, that's like the very last thing that they do, and then they would start going. But for you, this is like your first training program, right?
Yeah. And it was really tough. I mean, I have a really great team, you know? I have a really
Mhm.
great team that has been behind me since the beginning.
I
So,
love
I
that. We
mean,
had an earlier episode about how important having a great team is, right?
it's probably the most important, right? I
Yeah.
Yeah,
mean, you guys do your own
absolutely.
team, right? You too?
Oh, well,
Sure.
sure. I
Yeah,
mean,
you're
I,
part of the team?
and just for anybody who perhaps is curious what we're talking about when we say team that hasn't seen some of our earlier episodes,
Yeah.
it's not only your voice teacher and your vocal coaches that you work with, or eventually your manager, but it's
Mhm.
also who you surround yourself with, right? Like
Sure.
your friends and your family and the people who lift you up and the people who encourage you, but will also give it to you straight when
Sure.
you're
That's the most important.
exactly.
Right.
Wow, you were really done with that. And you're like, you're not mad about it. You're like, maybe I was dumb.
Right.
And
What
so
do you
is
mean?
I've
Tell
got
me.
my
Why am I
mom.
being stupid? Tell me. I
Yeah.
don't know. What do I do?
I've got my mom to tell me how great I am no matter what. I don't need
Yeah,
anybody
exactly.
else. My
Exactly. You
mom
got
can handle that, no problem.
That's
So
exactly.
amazing. Yeah. But yeah, my manager that, I'm grateful to, my wife, my voice teacher, a
Mhm.
few coaches. I mean,
Sure.
they just really were like, okay, like there's something here that we need to work on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they knew the kind of person I was too, like that I was going to grind through and
Yeah.
like do this work. Cause I mean, it's an investment. When a young artist
Sure.
program takes you in,
Oh, yeah.
they're making an investment because they want quality.
Sure.
Yeah. And they want to be the ones who said, "We helped to get him, make him an opera star."
Well, there's a
You know?
reason every time when you go see a show at the Met and you look at the program, there's a little asterisk next to every alumni that
Yeah.
graduated from the Lindemann
And they're
program.
proud of that.
There's a reason for that. That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Absolutely.
So
Well,
yeah.
I was going to say for
Yeah.
anybody, I mean, I think that there are such a select group of singers that are selected for this Lindemann program at the Met. It is almost, and there's not an application process, right? It's sort of a who you know, and then the right people that hear you mention you to the right people, and then you get invited.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about what does a typical week look like in the Lindemann program? Like, what are some of the training
For sure.
elements to it? I mean, like, make sure you mentioned this yesterday. We were talking, and you mentioned like, oh yeah, I can't remember who we were talking to, but you said something about how, yeah. So you had your interview training,
Right.
and so
Right.
talk about some of the things that
Yeah.
are a part of that program.
Yeah. I mean, and I'll just keep prefacing, I'm very grateful to everything they've given me. I mean,
Sure.
we do we do tutoring for languages every week with native speakers. We do, which is huge, native
French, German, and Italian.
French, German, Italian. Right now, I do German and Italian every week. Um, we do. We have maybe two. We have two main coaches that we work with every week,
Mhm.
and then we have a lot of guest coaches that come in too,
Sure.
which is very valuable. A lot of times, those are conductors. They hear you. They might offer you something off of coaching.
Yeah.
Wow, right.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I treat that my job as an audition every single day. I mean, every single day I walk in that building, and it's not exactly like that. They don't want it to be that way, but it just is that way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you're singing for someone for the first time, that's an opportunity.
It's a first impression.
It's a first. You're
Oh,
never going to get that first impression back.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's what that program has trained me the most. Is okay. When I'm at work, I'm at work. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
these people, these people are in this building for a reason.
Right.
You know, it's
Absolutely.
and it's an honor to be there. So, I mean, for me, that's the biggest thing. I do. We get lessons, we do coachings, we do language tutoring, we do interview training, which we were talking about, is extremely valuable,
Sure.
especially in today's social media age.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I mean, they'll throw on the schedule, hey, we're gonna do a promotion video. It's like, okay, it's like
Yeah.
instant questions, like, oh, is it okay to ask for the questions up front?
Mhm.
Absolutely.
What are the
Yes.
questions up front, right?
Right.
Is it? And a lot of young singers don't know that. Like, oh, they just go in scared. But it's just being
Yeah.
aware of what you can ask, what you should say, what you shouldn't say.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think I let's see, I kind of learned a lot of that on the ropes, and then my manager helped me, but especially Jeffrey Vanderveen was much more kind of ready to deal and handle with that with the record companies and all this other kind of stuff, so that you just can be calm and relaxed and, you know, not get thrown a curveball of like, oh, well, you know, and it's totally understandable, and it's totally acceptable. And yeah, I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's
And if you
awesome.
get thrown a curveball, it's funny. We'll like test each other sometimes. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so like one of the weirdest things that, like, I'm sure you've had this question before, is like, why are opera singers mostly overweight? You know what I mean? Like, you get like some like newscaster that's like,
Yeah.
is there a reason behind that? Is your voice work better when you're, you
Yeah.
know? And then you can just be like, I just think people should perform as comfortably as they want to perform.
Well, and I used to say, like,
and like
if I
stuff
would,
like that.
yeah, if I get a curveball like that, I say, well, you don't expect offensive lineman to run as fast as a running back. And
Sure.
so a lot of
That's a
times
good-
big voices come in big packages.
Sure.
And you
They come in
know,
all
it's
shapes and sizes.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. I mean, weight, you know, weight has so much to do with hormones and has to do with all kinds of stuff. Yes, it is with the calories that you eat and you don't eat, but it's not just that.
Right.
You know, but yeah, no, I every time somebody would say, hey, big fella, or hey, big man, how you doing? I'd be like,
I know, right?
you know what I mean? It's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm curious a little bit. So you're doing Alfredo right now, which I think is awesome. It's wonderful. You said other early Verdi. What are some other roles that either you have stuff lined up for or you're hoping to get? I just think our audience would love to hear a little bit about what's coming up.
Yeah. So I have a Romeo coming up, which I'm really excited about.
Oh my God, there's
I'm really
that
excited
role
about.
is so amazing. The last
That's a great thing.
scene
man.
is heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking.
Oh,
So you know, currently in the process of trying to look like Romeo. You know,
yeah, right on. We all are on our journey.
You know, we all are, but
Sure.
But I don't think I can say who that's with yet. But
No, it's fine. No, that's fine.
And then I have a Macduff in the future.
Sure.
Fantastic.
With a great company that I'm really excited about.
Awesome.
Yeah, those are two of the big ones. And I have some really cool like American English opera coming out too.
Cool.
That I'm really excited about.
That's great, man.
What are you doing at the Metropolitan Opera this season?
This season, First Armored Guard.
Nice.
In flute, the holiday version in English.
Tell Stephen White we said hi.
Yeah.
I will.
We just
That's
interviewed.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to meet him. But that'll be my debut. So I'm excited about that.
Awesome, man.
That's great.
And it's the same debut as my teacher, which is hilarious.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
And then doing Young Sailor in Tristan.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then Gastone and Traviata. I think I'm doing like 30 performances of Gastone. So
Nice.
a lot of Traviata this year, which I'm not.
Yeah, you can't complain about that.
Complain about that.
The best music in the world, I think.
Yeah.
Is that the one where Michael Spires is singing Tristan?
There's like 4 different casts.
Okay.
So I have trouble like.
Yeah. No, I think it is because I saw that and I was like, huh. All right. Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Doing it
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great, man.
But yeah, no, I'm really excited, really grateful. Like I said, my team and Lindemann and yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we've had Myra on here. We had Myra on in our first season.
That's
She's
sweet.
awesome.
Yeah.
She's so great.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's amazing.
So,
Well, let's say this: if there was any kind of advice that you would maybe give to your younger self, what would you go back? Let's say 5 years. It sounds silly to say 5 years, but let's say pre-COVID. What would you tell yourself based on what you've learned now?
I would say just be open about taking not criticism, but
Input.
input. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
input's a great word. I mean,
sure.
I had people tell me like, "Oh, you could be a tenor,"
And they weren't
I was
wrong.
really like, "You're out of your mind."
Well, when
Right.
we first met, I was like, so you told me I used to be a baritone. I was like, so wait a minute, are you a tenor that has like high C's? And you're like, yeah. And I go, so were you a baritone that always had high C's? And you're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, that's not what most baritones have,
Right.
I never had been brought up there, like until like that. My teacher now, he was like, he just kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just kept going,
Well, I think that's amazing advice for everybody, right? It's just like keep an open mind, and if you're getting similar type of feedback from a few different people, maybe they're onto something.
That's definitely it. And,
Sure.
I will say too, a lot of the young artists get so caught up, and I was just in a production of Rigoletto, and you know, just having people call me or like the resident artists there or wherever, just be like, man, people have so many opinions on what I should do.
Mhm,
Right.
Right.
mhm.
And yes, they do. And that's their job to tell you that.
Yeah,
Is they get paid to tell you what they think of you. That's their job.
Right.
And I think a lot of artists get all wrapped up in like want to make everyone happy.
Oh, for sure. I've seen this so
That's
many
not what our
times.
job is. Our
No.
job is to take the critique, see which ones are similar to the other ones,
Yeah.
use that, and move on.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so easy for somebody in a situation like that to be like, "Oh, well, now I've got this company paying for my lessons. I'm going to get input from everybody."
right.
And
I
it's like,
remember,
well, you're kind of already getting input from everybody else, and now you're just getting even more in the weeds because the New York voice teacher scene can get very, like, let's say protective. That's the nicest word I can think about, right?
Yeah,
well
no,
done, yeah, yeah.
well, and
Very
obviously
territorial.
the people who are giving the input, they think that they're offering the best information that you could
Sure.
possibly hear. And of course, from the singer's perspective, we're like, okay, we've heard it from this one and this one and this one and this one and this one.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it can very easily be overwhelming, but I love that, it's like find out which ones of those kind of jive
Yeah.
together. And you're like, okay,
It's
this
just a
person, this
circle
person,
diagram. It's
it,
just
the Venn diagram.
Venn diagram.
Yeah, the
Right.
Venn diagram.
Find
Yeah.
what's
out
in the middle.
what's the overlap.
Totally,
Yeah.
and protect yourself. Like trust your team, right? Because
Exactly.
just as we were saying that, I experienced that when I was trying to switch teachers before I went to AVA, and try and make that situation out. I got to the point to where I had so many ways to sing a note or so many ways to do this that I was like, I don't know which way is right. I don't know which way I should do. And I'd
Yeah,
say
and
for the
that's a great.
first, yeah, for the first
What
6
is right?
months,
What is right?
Well, and when you
Right.
have a good voice, when the instrument is good,
Right.
you're like, okay, I could sing this in 18 different ways, and
Right.
it would and everyone's going to go, oh, that's good. It's
Yeah.
like, unless you are with that person who's like, no, 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 I understand why you would think that, but look, this is the obvious choice.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I was learning Romeo's out of the Trois Soleil, and
Right. Sure.
I had, and I'm grateful. I'm not complaining or anything, but I had 4 coachings on the same aria in one day
Right.
From 4 different
from
people.
4 different people.
Yeah.
And it got to the last hour. We worked on the same phrase that I'd worked on with 3 people before, and I just started laughing. And they're like, "What's so funny?" I'm like, "Okay, so I'm gonna sing it the way I just worked on it 2 hours ago,
Right.
and maybe we could work on another phrase.
Right. Right.
Maybe we could just leave this one alone."
It's a
Okay,
lot of B flats in one day, buddy.
it's a lot. It's a lot.
Well, and case in point, once you get comfortable and confident with a role, and you get hired back to sing that role again and again and again and again, you start discovering patterns. There's some conductors that swear that this needs to be the tempi. No, no, no,
Right.
it can't go. And this is the reason why it has to move at this tempo. And then you go to the next one, and they're like, no, 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 that's way too fast. It's got to be and so it's like, from your perspective, you're hearing all of these different strong opinions from the
Right.
conductors. And so again, you're so, okay, well, so whether we're this or here or somewhere in the middle, it's like, all
Well,
right.
and I'm here to say that at some point you stop being a young singer and people start just leaving you alone. Right.
That's right.
Like you
Right,
just
that's also scary.
Yeah.
Right? And I was
Yeah.
talking to Weston about that. Like, it's scary. Like, I want them to really care and give me their input.
Well,
Because the moment they stop caring, I'm not interested in. They're not interested in me anymore, right?
yeah.
No,
I mean,
I'm not
yes and
sure.
no.
Yes
Yeah.
and no.
I think sometimes there is this sort of moment where it's like the idea was like, if they're no longer riding you and giving you the input, they've given up on you. But there's also this bizarre transition that you go from like up and coming and newcomer, whatever you want to call it,
Right.
to like veteran
Right.
like it feels like it's overnight. You're like, really? I'm a veteran?
It's
It's
so
like, okay.
yeah, it's so silly. But I mean, at some point there does come a time. So, if you're doing your 4th, 5th, whatever the role happens to be, you kind of know how it goes. You've done it with 4 or 5 different conductors. You've done 4 or 5 different
Right.
productions. You then become your own artist, and you can say, okay, because trust me, everybody will have an opinion. If you ask them, they're going to give it to you. I would
Right.
suggest
Yeah, exactly.
there comes a point to where I wouldn't ask them anymore because you're giving them power over you that you don't need that kind of insecurity or that like, ooh, before you're the one that goes out on stage and sings those difficult high C's and all that kind of stuff. So like there does have to come, I think, become an ownership point to where you're like, this is my Romeo. I've got shades and different variations, but this is how I deliver the best Romeo that, I can give this audience and this company. And
it's great to hear, man. It's great to hear.
Yeah, no. I mean, you can be nice about it, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But especially conductors and diction coaches, they can drive you into the ground if they're in the mood to.
Right.
Because they're just like, they're just like, no, it has to be like this. No, it has to be like this. And at some point, I'm just like, why don't you just get some? I just said that to a conductor once in a rehearsal. Music rehearsal was one of these. I was like, this is the voice that I have. If you want that, you obviously want somebody else, and you're welcome to get them, but you can pay me my contract.
Right.
And I wasn't even being a dick. I was standing up for myself because everybody knew this guy was picking on me.
Right.
And it was like, and so anyway, just thought this little word of encouragement, but for down the road. This has been so awesome, Ben. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me, guys. You guys are awesome. This was
awesome,
great.
Brother.
Glad to talk with y'all.
Thanks so much for joining us on Season 2 of Between the Notes podcast. Please remember to like and subscribe to our videos, and we will see you next time.